All right, today we're talking about fears. And why are we talking about fears? Because it's October. So this is the month of scary. And so we want to address that topic with fears. Kelly wrote an awesome blog. You guys need to go to paulamoyer.com, click on the blog link, and look for the one with Kelly going.
And Michael Myers peeking around the bush. He's scary.
And Kelly talking about her fears and giving you 3 awesome steps on how to overcome fears. And that's how she's overcome her fear. And you got to go to the blog to find out the whole story on why Kelly and Michael Myers are in the same neighborhood in her blog. So, and why he was following her around when she was 12 years old. So you're definitely going to want to go check that out. But we'll give you the skinny on her 3 steps and how we approach things that are scary too. So, you know, in this holiday time of Halloween, I want to talk about some of the things that are scary. You know, this is the Hero Mom podcast, and we're in the house of Hero Mom. So we're talking like moms with each other, what our focus is. And our primary focus is having a healthy lifestyle for sure. Not perfect, healthy. All right. So there are things that come into our lives. We all have kids. And, you know, I understand the importance of holiday traditions and celebrating and having a good time and creating great memories for kids. But we can also be real about the fact that, you know, the food industry, the candy industry, the sugar industry, the grocery stores, everybody's kind of cashing in on this holiday and trying to get their little cut for everything. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about that are fears is going into the grocery stores when October 1 hits, and you're just like pounded with aisles and aisles and aisles. Everywhere you look, candy, 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 candy.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's like if you're a person who struggles with trying to stay away from sugar and trying to stay away from sweets and tempting foods like I am, it's very difficult. You know, it's not the grocery stores or the candy industry's responsibility for me to make good choices. I get that. But I'm just saying, like, it's scary sometimes walking into the grocery stores at this time of the year, knowing that you're going to be bombarded with chocolate, because I love my chocolate.
It's everywhere you turn. Everywhere.
So it's like a beautiful thing because it's everywhere you turn, but it's also like, so scary. So, I mean, like, how do you feel when you guys walk into the grocery store, not just yourselves, but like when you take your kids with you?
When I go into the grocery store, especially October, and we know it's not just Halloween candy, it starts the Christmas candy already. And then next month it'll be Valentine's candy. So, and then Easter, you know, I mean, it's one after the other, and it's never ending. And then when one goes on sale, there's a new holiday 5 months later. So, you know, I do allow my son to have candy, but he gets it usually whenever we go out, if he's with me, so that it's not that barrage of, oh my God, here's a ton of chocolate, you know, let's get it. And he doesn't usually like to go shopping with me, so that's a plus for me. But I always take a list with me. I have sticky notes of groceries. If I don't have a list, I will buy.
Of course you do.
Yes.
Kelly, have a list? That's weird.
Not Kelly.
Here's a list already.
Oh my goodness.
I'll buy 10 bags of candy and not the milk or something else that I needed, you know, because I didn't write it down. And there's a whole bunch of candy staring me in the face, and I love it. And I always buy more than I need. So, you know, just in case you get those 500 trick-or-treaters, which have never come in the past before, but you tell yourself this will be the year they come, and they don't. But then you've got this big, gigantic bowl of candy staring you in the face. And it's like, no, strap the feed bag on. We're going to get rid of this.
Bring them over to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's staying here.
Yeah. And it's cold weather there. You know, here in San Diego, it's decent. So, but I think, you know, maybe people put the word out somewhere else, but I do take a list because I like to shop from a list. It keeps me on task.
So that's a good idea. I'm just like la 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 la, and that's my approach. Jenny, what's your approach?
Don't bring the kids to the store with you. You're crazy. No, you know what? I mean, honestly, that's the truth. But we went to the store last night to get a few things, and my son was like, "We need Halloween candy." I mean, okay, Halloween we celebrate, or they celebrate in our neighborhood the Sunday before Halloween. I have no decorations up right now, and I'm the freak who always decorates for Halloween, like spooky. I haven't done it.
Of course you are.
Jenny, decorate for holidays? That's weird.
Fun house. This is the fun house right here. But we went, and he's like, and I have nothing, and I'm going, it's Sunday. So here I am scrambling, and I'm getting all this candy, but my God, I was dreading it. I was dreading putting that candy in my cart, and I'm like, I want to give the little salads away.
That's not the fun house.
No. That does not sound like the fun house at all. Yeah. Wait, okay, so I'm still stuck on we do Halloween the Sunday before.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I never heard this rule before. What is this, a Chicago thing, or what is this? Midwest?
No, because we live in a neighborhood with a bunch of little kids. I mean, our neighborhood has been around for about 15 years now, and a lot of the schools are around here. So in order to keep it safe, which, listen, I grew up Halloween night. We went out, shaving cream, eggs. We were like the crazy ones back in Chicago. But here in the suburbs, it's like, I'm like Sunday, and it's noon to 5.
What?
So it's daylight out. I'm like, ooh, that's so scary. I'm like, that was the one thing about here that I really didn't like. I'm like, not fun.
She's the rule breaker.
I am.
Okay, I'm just going to say that sounds way more fun for me and way less scary. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could see, if you're coming from like a little hoodlum background, how that would be really boring. But as a mom, of my kids are older now, but when they were little, I would have loved to have that kind of setup, to feel safe, and I can see them. I can see who's coming around them. And that would definitely make me feel safer from that sense, because there's all kinds of crazy going on at Halloween time. But so that's like just your neighborhood stuff going? Is that just your neighborhood does that?
Couple neighborhoods around
makes up their own rules for Halloween. Just your neighborhood does that?
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of safety, it's always checking your kids' candy afterwards. Oh, I think this one's bad. Everything I like was always bad. So I put it off into another pot. I think this looks suspect. So then I end up eating even more.
Oh my gosh, I totally would do that too. I'm like, all right, kids, let's see all your candy. So first of all, my kids didn't really do a lot of Halloween trick-or-treating, but when they did, I was no fool. I didn't waste that opportunity. This was in my big girl days when I was obese. So I was like, all right, you guys, let's see the loot. And they'd dump it all out. And I'd say, okay, mommy first gets to fill her little sandwich bag up with what she likes. And then you guys get to pick what you like. That's just what I get for having the power of being a mom.
Okay, I have a question.
Want that power? Go ahead and pop some pumpkins out yourself, and then you can have that power.
Okay, now go back to they didn't trick or treat that much. Woo! What's that all about?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that holiday, and it has nothing to do with health, actually. Well, now it does. And what's ironic is now I do let them. I mean, not that I've got a 23-year-old son. He doesn't need my permission for anything, but my 16-year-old daughter, when she was littler, so I have 7 years apart. And when my son got older and he wanted to do it, then I was like, sure, he understood. For me, it's a big deal. I'm always about, and this is part of my legacy with my family, whether, sometimes it works really great and sometimes there's a little backfire. But it's really important for me that my kids understand what they participate in, no matter what it is. And so I always do this thing where whatever it is, especially if it's a tradition that people tend to blindly follow and just do whatever everybody else does and says, that they have to understand, where does it come from? Why is it there? Why did it start? who does it represent, and how does it align with who you want to be as a person, or who you want people to know who you are. Now, I understand that's kind of heavy for a kid, but teaching them at a young age made them very confident people, made them be able to not run with the crowd if they didn't want something, if they didn't feel like it was who they really are. They had to think about, well, who am I, and does this match with that? So as long as I knew they had that perspective and they still chose to participate, then I supported that, because I support them and them wanting to be who they truly are. But my kids didn't want to at first for a long time.
I was going to say, did they ever get like picked on or anything like that because they were different? Because it wasn't like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely looked at as like joy kills, or killjoys, that was called. My kids were the ones that were telling the other kids, there's no such thing as Santa Claus. And they're like, Mommy,
there isn't?
told me there's no such thing as Santa Claus. And so everybody's like, all right, keep your kids away from Paula's kids around the holiday time. But, you know, I didn't tell them to do that. I just told them the truth. You know, I just wanted them to know the truth. I just wanted them to know that what I tell them is the truth. So no judgment on anybody else. That was just my choice as mom. And you know, I asked them periodically, do they regret that I was that honest with them, or do they wish that I wouldn't have told them those things? And they're like, no, we're so glad. We feel like we're the only adults, and everyone else, all the other kids our age, are like just like in La La Land. But whatever, they don't judge either. They understand that for some people that's a really important tradition. So anyway, that's kind of how that got started. But when they started wanting to trick or treat, then I was like, all right, cool. Do you want to wear a costume? And they'd be like, yeah, maybe. All right, cool. What do you want to wear? Let me help you get that. And we would go and we'd buy the costume. And, you know, just like any other mom, I'd make sure they were going to a safe neighborhood, or I'd go with them if they needed a parent escort. And then we would come home and do the candy. And that was my favorite part when I was a big girl. But then later on, you know, then it was, so my kids went to a school where they were kind of proactive about this stuff, where the school had like an association of a local dentist or orthodontist. And so what they would do, and I think this is somewhat common for other schools now, but they would, the next day, any kids who brought in candy, they would get like $1 for every pound or something like that of candy they donated back. And so the local orthodontist would buy all the candy back from the kids so that they wouldn't eat it, and they wouldn't get cavities and have to go to the dentist and you know, have rotten teeth. And I thought that was super freaking cool. So I definitely encouraged my kids to do that. So I said, here's a sandwich size Ziploc bag, fill it up with whatever you want. That's all you're going to get. And the rest goes to the dentist. And they were totally fine with that. So that's kind of how we've done it. And now my daughter's 16. She's going to have a Halloween party this year with like 6 of her buddies. And they're going to pretty much eat junk food all night and watch scary movies. And I'm like, cool. What do you need from me? Because I want her to be able to have those experiences. I'll have her do a detox the next day if she'll let me. But I'm all for having the memories.
Of course you will.
So, I mean, that's, you know, so all of us have a different way, and no judgment. I don't really love the, you know, like encourage kids to totally indulge in candy and sugar, because we know the toxic effects of this on their bodies. Kelly, like, what's your tradition with this?
I come from the belief I love to give out candy to the little kids. I love when the little kids come up and they're in their cute little costumes, because they only come from like 6 to 7. I don't like to leave my light on later. I'm not against older kids trick-or-treating. They could be doing worse things. So I'll give them all the candy in the world if that's all they're doing. But it's interesting. I can't believe I birthed my son, because he doesn't really care for chocolate. And I do. So, you know, we go out and we buy all the candy that I like, because I might get those 500 trick-or-treaters. and then I have all this left over that I'll eat, you know. And so, which I do, you know, I put a good dent in it when I do that. But then my son's candy goes into a jar, which we end up throwing away at Christmas time anyway, because he forgets about it, he's sick of it, or there's stuff he doesn't really like, so first we're just wasting all of this. But kind of funny, I was walking with my husband today, and we were talking about the holidays coming up, because it seems like as I get older, it's more stressful. Holidays in general are more stressful because of the money that is spent. So we've been really trying in the last couple of years, and especially this year, is just really being grateful for, you know, the things that we have, the things that we can get if we need it, you know, the things that we have that we need and not necessarily just want. So we were having that discussion. But in talking about money, it just amazes me, because all this great candy comes out, just like we talked about, in the grocery stores, and it's Halloween candy. It's, well, they even have the Thanksgiving candy corn turkeys, and you know, the harvest mix, because we got to throw something in there for Thanksgiving. But I personally like candy corn. I know it's debatable whether that's not even really a food. I know, but if you like it. But if I go to buy licorice and it's Halloween licorice, the price is jacked up, like double what the licorice in the regular candy aisle is. So it always drives me nuts. It's like, okay, Gabe, you want licorice, which he loves. So I'll say, well, let's get it from the regular candy aisle, because this is stupid. I'm not spending that much money. You know, but it's like, and nobody knows if you're sticking it in their bag, whether it has a Halloween face on it or has the regular everyday face. You know? So for us, especially this year for us, it's a money thing. And, you know, I would much rather and my son is not going to trick or treat this year. So, and he actually didn't go last year either. So we're like, we really don't need to be spending that extra money we don't know if it's going to get thrown away. You know, I mean, how much candy gets thrown away, really? You know,
none. What are you talking about? Nobody throws candy away. What the heck?
People do. People do.
Kelly, did you say that you like candy corn?
I know, I do. Okay, it's got to be the soft candy corn.
I'm going to be a buzzkill right now, and I want you to tell me what is in the ingredients.
I know. High fructose corn syrup is the #1 thing in there. I know. I know. We've only bought one bag, and we're not buying any more because it's not soft anymore.
I only bought one bag. We only had one, but one bag.
When you go to eat it, I'm going to be on your shoulder going, chemicals.
I won't eat any more candy corn because that was my allotted amount. But then the next holiday comes, and and that's the thing, is they save my favorite candies for only the holidays. So
it's a conspiracy.
Oh, it is. But thankfully, it's only here for a short time. So, but yes, I know candy corn, you could probably like build a house with it, and it would be, I know. You could probably like seal up, you know, holes in your wall if you melt it down. I get it. I know.
So that's interesting. It's only here for a short time, which is the lies that they want us to believe. Urgency. It's only here for a short term. You must buy all that you can, store it, save it, freeze it, keep it, sell it, share it. You know, it's crazy. Like the amount of it's only here for a short time stuff that you can eat in the holiday season is insane. More than could last an average person over the entire course of a year. So that's crazy. Jenny, what are your guys' traditions? We know about the rule that your neighborhood chooses to make up, regardless of what the rest of the country is doing. Have your own special Halloween day. What else do you guys do?
We were candy freaks. I used to have Halloween parties and stuff, but as the kids got older, it's just really exhausting now. And being a single mom, like my kids are literally right now, they're like, you have not decorated, like there's pumpkins outside. That's it. They're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, like I have to go in the basement. I got to get it out. I got to decorate it. And then I got to take it down. I'm like, not doing it. If you guys want to help me, we'll do it. So I've gotten super lazy ever since Taylor's accident. And I'm tired. And they're just like, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? I'm like, I'm getting old. But we used to have so much fun. I mean, it was like crazy horror house in my house, like music going on, like the strobe lights going on in the windows. Like people would be afraid of going around my house because I had creatures outside the house. It was that insane. And
you were the fear on Halloween that people were scared of. What?
Yeah. In my house, with little kids were afraid to come up to our house.
You just need to put the word out that you're giving out salad this year, and you won't have to worry about it.
And they'll really be scared to go to your house.
Yeah. Read the ingredients, people. You'll be the scary lady running around going, read the ingredients.
People are like, it was like a little like Facebook thing with the little dole salads, like as a joke, and someone tagged me and they're
hilarious.
Dude, your house is gonna get egged if you get
See, and I would be like the one like, oh, cool, there's somebody giving us, come on, let's go to their house and only their house. Oh my gosh.
No, we do.
I was reading a crazy statistic today on how much the average kid eats of sugar on Halloween day. Not even Halloween season, but Halloween day.
Bring it.
All right. 3 cups. 3 cups of
Halloween
sugar
day?
on Halloween day. And let's just say that's probably, well, okay, so whatever, they're doing candy stuff at school if it's a school day, or they're snacking on it all day long as they're getting ready to go trick-or-treating. But the majority of it is while they're trick-or-treating and then when they get home from trick-or-treating. So it's insane. 3 cups of sugar, you guys. Like, do you have any idea what's going on in your body? Let me tell you, because I wrote it down.
Imagine what our mommy bags are like. If we take our own mommy bags, and you said you had a sandwich bag, girlfriend, where's your gallon bag?
I know.
Seriously,
gallon bag.
Yeah.
Dude, by the time I was doing sandwich bags, that was like when I was thinking about my health. So prior to that, it was just like, give me your whole damn bag, kid, because that's mine.
In the right direction.
You get the leftovers. You cannot fight over. Kids can't win an obese mom when it comes to candy. Let me just tell you that. Okay, so when they are consuming all of this sugar, it's putting them into a state of hypoglycemia, and this is completely disrupting the way that the body works, you guys. It's literally like slowly killing poison inside their body. And I don't want to be a buzzkill. Well, I kind of want to be a buzzkill because this is bad. Like, it's really bad. It's just, I think the traditions can be really fun. I think that you can create really awesome, happy memories for your kids with this kind of stuff. But, just be aware of what you're teaching your kids is part of the tradition. Helping them manage this massive amounts of sugar intake so that they're having the fun of the traditions, but not hurting their bodies, not damaging their bodies by these chemical-filled, sugar-filled frankenfoods, or it's not even real food. So for those of you who care, not like, I don't want to say like you don't care if you're giving a candy away, but for those of you who want alternatives, okay, again, no judgment here. You guys got to make up your own choice on, how you want to build your legacy, what you want to teach your kids, because they're little and we're teaching them this thing that's going to stick with them for the rest of their lives, and they're going to bring this into their children's lives. So think about what you teach them or allow them to do today is something that's going to be shaping a result 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, is going to be affected by what they're doing today. And you have the ability to control what that is to shape the result that you actually want for them. I know you don't want your kids to grow up to be sick adults. Of course you don't want that. You want them to be healthy. You want them to be thriving. So think about that, and maybe not cut out the tradition of candies, but just figure out how to manage that in a way that teaches them to be smart with those situations, and then they'll practice that in regular life too.
What I wonder if the next day after Halloween, I wonder if there's the teachers if there's a statistic where how do the kids act the next day at school? Like, are they crashed? Are they hyper?
Yeah.
Like, I would be so curious to find out how they actually act the next day.
That's a great question. Teachers,
how many kids bring the candy the next
all
day
of them.
too? Yeah.
If they're a cool kid, they're bringing their candy.
Oh, in their lunchbox? Mm-hmm.
And if they're really cool, they're only bringing their candy. Not bringing anything else. They're living off that for the whole day. Teachers out there who are listening to this, tell us, what are you experiencing with your kids in the classrooms a day after Halloween? And they've been shooting up the candy all day long. I think that there's definitely an effect there.
Well, Paula, you make a good point when you said shooting up the candy, because we've seen all the, I mean, it's science out there that sugar stimulates the same area in your brain as heroin, cocaine, drugs.
Yeah.
So that's why you're getting that. The kids, we say, oh God, they're so hyper. You know, even I feel it when I've been having too much sugar. You're like, whoa, and then you come down and you crash and you're tired and you just want to sleep, or you're crabby and you're mean, or you know, you have a short temper. So it's doing the same thing. It has the same effects. So we wonder why we say we're addicted to sugar.
Yep. The more you eat it, the more you want it. The more your body starts getting adapted to wanting that hit of, you know, that escape, that sugar rush, that happy hormone that kicks in, and you don't even understand what's going on. You just get the craving and you just keep eating and eating and eating, and next thing you know, you're sick, you're fat, you're having, you know, diabetes and all kinds of other issues. So what are some great ideas, you guys? What would you give if you weren't going to give candy and you want to take candy out of your holiday? What would be the alternatives to give the kids that would be fun for them, so they're still enjoying the, you know, the holiday, and you're not going to be the house that they egg?
You guys, there is I don't want to be the one to say it, but I mean, there is healthy, like, I don't want to say healthy, there is better candy out there than what is on the shelves that has all of the artificial colors and flavorings in there. There is organic lollipops and suckers that like Trader Joe's has. There is options out there for you guys. Just go getting like Skittles and Starburst and like chocolate. You guys, to me, chocolate's chocolate. I mean, it's sugar. It's good. You know, I know. I understand. There's sugar in there.
Chocolate.
But when you start getting into, I really want people to know, like, when you start getting into, because this is where I used to be addicted, was like lemon heads, those sweet and sour patch kids, you know, Skittles and all that stuff. That's where it gets dangerous, because that stuff is the artificial colors, artificial flavors. It's not even the sugar. Put the sugar aside. It's those chemicals right there that are cancer causing agents. That's what freaks me out. Chocolate's chocolate. You know, for me, my option, if I'm going to give candy away, it's going to be more of the chocolates than I would even go to the sweet tarts and, you know, and all that stuff with the artificial colors and flavors. That's just me. That's my opinion.
I mean, okay, I get that, but I mean, sugar is not real. I mean, it's not a real food. So it's, to me, it's, you know, it's got some whatever plant-based stuff in there, but generally speaking, it's just as toxic to your body in different ways. Like, it's going to cause all kinds of other problems, besides, you know, different than the ones that the chemicals are, but it's no less toxic.
Okay, but give it to them on Halloween. It's one day, Paula. Like, no. don't be that mom.
I'm that mom who lets my kid have it whenever during the year, but never in excess. You know, it's just,
I agree.
Yeah. So
she leaves her light off, so trick-or-treaters don't come.
I do. I put signs up. Sorry, no candy here.
Yeah.
And I've never been egged. Just saying. Don't come looking for me, you guys.
I think it just happens here.
Okay, so some of the things that I've seen come up that I thought were super cute. Okay, you're not going to be the popular house, but it's still useful. It's fun. The kids can enjoy it, and they can use it long after Halloween. And that's like really cute little Halloween pencils, or just fun little cool pencils in general. Stickers, coins. I remember one year, not because we had any conviction about candy, because I was still very young and living at my parents' house. And my parents were out of town. My brothers and I were home, and we forgot. We didn't have candy. Actually, no, my mom was home, and she forgot because that's her job. And even though I was like driving already and had a job. So anyway, she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Here's a here's a roll of dimes. And so she's like, give this out. I'm like, what the I don't want to be that house mom who's like, who cares? It's so funny because these little kids would come up like, trick or treat. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'd open the door. I'm like, here you go. I drop a dime in, and they're like, you know, they're like, what? Did you even put anything in there? And they're like 3 or 4 years old, and
I did.
They're like, Mom, what is up with this thing? I don't even know what to do with it. You know, like they don't care about stupid money. And then the moms were saying, wow, you must be rich. You're giving away dimes.
Right.
So, but you know, coins would be fun. Those temporary tattoos.
Those were so cool.
Those are fun, you know, especially if you're making them like themed around the holiday. Kids love that stuff. And other things would be like, you know, I don't know, what would other things be?
Play-Doh.
The Play-Doh, yeah. They have little color books too now. You know, they make everything miniature now because they'll make everything for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you're really worried about being that house, just shut the light off at 7 because all the little kids come between 6 and 7. And
Unless
anybody
you're in my
after that,
neighborhood.
well, you're just weird.
So wait, are you saying that the only kids who are really going to egg your house or be like, ooh, there's that house is the older kids? You like younger kids won't care?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, because you said shut your light off at 7 after the younger kids come, as if they're going to be all cool with the coloring books and tattoos instead of candy.
Oh, I'm talking about these are toddlers that come.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, if they're escaping, they have other issues at that house. So, you know. But, yeah, these are just the little toddlers that come dressed as mom and dad wanted them to come because it's the outfit at the store.
Right.
So that's a whole nother podcast. But, you know, those ones where that's how I like Halloween is when these little ones come and you know what they are and, you know, you're talking to these toddlers. You're like, oh, I love your little, you know, I'm probably going to date myself, Woody costume, you know, but, you know, that type of thing. They come
You said Woody.
light out. Thanks, Paula.
That's what she said.
I know. But when it's light out, that's when the little kids come. So,
yeah.
you know, and then really, then I shut the light off. And then it's
so
done.
what do you give them?
Normally, I would give them candy.
Well, as an alternative to candy, what would you give?
You know, those little bouncy balls, the ones that parents love because the kids go, wham!
The toddlers choke on? Good idea, Kelly.
No, the kids, I'm not talking about little babies who need their hats on.
Okay, Paula is seriously right now trying to kill Halloween. Do you hear, like, anything that we do, she's like,
Killjoy, see?
Right. Who wants Paula as a
Nobody invite Paula to a Halloween party, that's for sure.
the boring one?
Yeah. So Jenny, what about you? Have you seen, your kids are younger than ours. You have some kids that are younger than ours. So have you guys seen any cool alternatives to candy coming home in your kids' trick-or-treat bags?
Just the stuff that we mentioned. Nothing like, you know, crazy fun. But of course, they're always looking for the candy. You know that, you know. But I haven't seen anything like, oh my God, this. I haven't seen anything like, oh wow, this is like a really cool idea. You know, like no one's got me there yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to do that for an alternative to candy.
But I have a good idea with you talking about all your, you know, if you don't want to be that house, well, you can still get all that stuff and you're not going to give away candy, but like, you'd be like, oh my God, you're so cute. And then you like grab like the thing and like, don't show it and just put it in the bag. You're like, oh my God, have so much fun. So they don't even know what you put in there. Bye. Then they don't know you're that house and you won't get egged.
Oh my gosh. So basically hide what you're giving them so that they can't see you're not giving them the cool treats.
Yeah.
And fake distract them. Distract them with your fake greeting. Yeah. And you're good.
Woo! Yes, adult that works, lady. Hey, got some advice, trying to help so you don't get egged. That's all I'm trying to do.
Well, that's really fun. And the big thing that, you know, we're talking about fear tonight, and the main thing that we wanted to mention to you guys, we're just joking around, we're having a good time, you know, we love each other to pieces, so we don't mean anything, but not trying to offend anyone, or we're just poking fun and trying to bring out some, you know, different views of different moms. And I'm sure you guys have your own views too, which we'd love to hear. Put it in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys are doing, and what traditions you've created so that your kids can grow up having a good time remembering these days. But also when it comes to fear, because there are real fears at Halloween time. We hear crazy stories of people getting hurt, and so we're afraid for our kids' safety and things like that, or just, making hard decisions in general. So if you guys want to get some really awesome tips on how to handle fear, you've got to go to the blog that Kelly wrote, and she's got the 3 steps on how to overcome fear. Go to paulamoyer.com and click on the blog's links, and you'll see it's the most recent blog that's up there. If you're watching this at Halloween time, go check it out and give us your comments there too. If you have different steps that you use to overcome fear, we'd love to hear those as well. Share with us. Let us be a community of moms that help each other out and lift each other up and support each other in what it is that we're doing and moving forward, and how we're trying to build our Hero Mom legacies. All right, you guys, that's it for this podcast. Hope you had a fun time hanging out with us, and we'll see you on our next podcast.
Mwah.